Alright, so we've got Zigzag in blue, and we got a Yuri player. So this is Buffalo. These are both really good players. I don't know that I've seen Zigzag play Buffalo, but I know that he's gonna have some tricks to play against Yuri. I think Zigzag actually has some videos on how to play against Yuri, so we'll see if he can put his money where his mouth is. I don't know that I've ever seen Buffalo play Yuri before, though. So, what's up, Stefan? How you doing? I'm actually recording this game on top of it, so that way, if I want to post the stream later, I can have a better quality, so you guys won't bitch. Yuri is considered, they're harder to play against in the sense that, you know, since everyone says, oh, no Yuri, it's like, well, you never have any practice playing against Yuri, so like, your adaptation to playing against Yuri never develops, so I think that's part of the problem. But there is definitely some aspects of Yuri that are very hard to deal with. And especially on a bigger map like this. Because ideally on a small map, if you're playing against Yuri, you can just harass the hell out of them with a Desolator. And that's a huge issue for the money for them. Alright, so they're playing out for a long game, it looks like. Nobody's gonna rush on either side. Oh, actually, I spoke too soon. Here's a Gatling tank. He's probably gonna do some damage. Guess not. He's just gonna go for the scout. I guess because he got his brute, so he still wasn't done scouting yet. All right, so there's the 6th miner. So now he's gonna expand the base. Got a good money supply now, so we start seeing some plays. So he's got quite a big tank advantage in the early game here, and he's going to try and take advantage of it. So he's got a mag and 3 Gatling tanks, and so that's the standard early game for a Yuri player. So by the time he actually gets to the base, though, he's probably going to have at least 3 tanks. So we'll see how he counters this. And there's the Desolator that Yuri players have trouble dealing with, so, and he's already backing off. So we've got an early tech from Zigzag here, so I would imagine that we're going to see some jets, or helicopters rather, and we've also got the early tech. It's not early tech. So when you're playing Yuri, typically you want to get teched as soon as possible. And especially against a Soviet player, the reason for that is you want to be able to deal with those Desolators. And the best way to deal with the Desolators is the floating discs. So I would imagine we'll see floating discs very soon now. And super weapon, I was about to say that super weapons are on, so we see the first super come out of Zigzag. So I would imagine that Zigzag is either just going to try and mess with him to hold him off for the next 4 minutes. I don't think we're going to see any hard engages from Zigzag. And then once those 4 minutes goes by, you're going to see your first fireworks out of Zigzag. So there's the first floating disc, and again, those are going to be to deal with the Desolators, which create problems for Yuri. And he's already maybe sent, I was thinking he was going to maybe send one in already after those Desolators. So the other tactic out of the Soviet player you're going to notice is these strategically placed drones. And so the issue is that the masterminds can't take over the drones. So you want to try and distract long enough to get a drone into those masterminds, and obviously Yuri can't repair it, so that'll be an issue for him. And here we go with the helicopters. So helicopters against Yuri is mainly for mobility, and kind of just to keep them on their toes. and we're going to counter the floating discs that Zigzag knew were coming with these flak tracks. Alright, so we got 10 seconds left on the Iron Curtain. Let's see what Zigzag does with it. How many tanks does he have? He has 3 tanks there. Do we have any more? No more tanks, but if you notice, he's really bolstering some terror drones here, so I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we saw... Yep, there it is. The Iron Curtain on the terror drones, and he's going to get that Mastermind. I would hope he gets the Mastermind. Alright, so Worth, I guess? Let's see, what else does he have? I mean, he's definitely got a squadron going, so I don't know if that was the best way to deal with it. But for the sake of getting the Iron Curtain timer started again, and you don't want to waste your Iron Curtains, especially when you build it early. Alright, so again, here we go with the mobility. So again, this is a distraction tactic. So that way, Buffalo can't just, you know, hone in on one attack. He's got to be keeping track of where Zigzag is going. So it's just it's a mind game at this point between these two guys, and especially during the building phase when Zigzag's trying to get to the second ore patch. And now that he's there, it's going to be solely focused on the back and forth of the mind games, trying to poke each other's bases from 1, 2, 3 sides and wherever the discs and helicopters want to go. So another tactic we're going to see very soon, I would imagine, is a genetic mutator on all these slaves, and that way he can generate a shitload of money, which will, the longer the game goes on, the more it's going to benefit him as the money supply runs out. Alright, so here's what I was talking about, that mobility, and now he was able to sneak in and grab that battle lab. So that's going to be a huge part of Zigzag's strategy, is not let him mount an attack all the way in, and 2, just keep him distracted at all times. So what I found is it's typically best to be the instigator in everything. You don't want to be on the defensive, you don't want to be reactive, you need to be proactive. And that's what Zigzag is trying to do. He's trying to make it so that Buffalo is being reactive, because there's that lag there. You have to react, which means you're losing time, and you're not strategizing on where you're going to attack. Alright, so he just got all of those. Ooh, and he's using them against him. Oh, what a play. So he used his super weapon to take over his air, and then he used them on his own helicopter. So that was a huge move. And now these floating discs don't have any competition. Zigzag's got a lot of money, though, so I'd imagine we're going to see a lot of more flak cannons pumped out. And there's the Iron Curtain. Ooh, he popped that a long ways away, though. See, he made it work. He got them all in. Nice. And he's going to have to grind them. So how many helicopters does he have? Okay, here's the helicopters. He's coming in again. And he's got the battle lab. Ooh. Alright, so Buffalo's got to start thinking about pushing this to the late game. He can't just keep reacting. So we'll see how he handles this. And what's going to be interesting to see again is when this money supply runs out. That's when the fireworks will start. Because then if someone gets a huge advantage, they're not going to be able to react with money because there's nothing more to spend. So we've got a nuclear missile ready. We'll see where that goes. And an Iron Curtain. It's always got those helicopters moving. Yeah, you'd almost want to see Zigzag, or Buffalo, just... Alright, so we got a war factory, the grinder, maybe a power plant, but you almost want to see Zigzag just surround his base with the stationary cannons, and that way he can just focus more on the game instead of tracking down these helicopters. It's definitely an option. He's got the money to do it. It's not necessary, but if he wants a little more peace of mind, and he just took out all of those. I'm not sure what happened there. That was kind of weird. What up, Yuri? Thanks for following, bro. Oh, distraction. That's what it was. I was just thinking to myself, why did he do that? But that was a distraction to, I guess, come in here, which did not work out in his favor. Let's see what he's got left. Got some helicopters. He's got a lot of desolators, so that's the reason why you're not seeing the Yuri player. Even though he's got a lot of tanks, he's not going to pull ahead too quickly. Just because he's got those desos that can act as a big buffer. But his base is huge, so he could definitely poke around. He's got him strategically set here on either side. Thanks for cheering, by the way, bro. I appreciate that. $1. I caught you $1. Oh, you gotta be quicker than that. And there's that grind. Now watch his money. Watch his money. See that? So it looks like he took out his base there. I don't remember what was there, but those genetic mutators, that's what's going to come in handy during the late game. You'll see his cash really pull ahead of the Soviet player. Alright, so he's got a curtain in 30 seconds. What I would like to see is him just rush in with these helicopters, deploy them, and then Iron Curtain them. We'll see if that happens, but I think that's where his next move might want to be. It looks like he's going with another terror drone, which is also fine. So we'll see what he does. Yeah, he's going for the terror drones. And there they go. He's got to be thinking about those discs as well. Let's see how we do here. I mean, you can I don't think he's seeing it. Oh, wrong way. Alright, so they're just going to give a simple trade here. So again, as we move towards this late game is when these simple trades aren't going to be so simple because there's no more money to support the map. And as I said, as this game goes on longer, I think the advantage is going to go to the Yuri player with the genetic mutator. And here comes the nuke. So we got the barracks. I think he was trying to go for these three. Alright. And there's the genetic mutator. So that's going to give him a big cash boost. So now, if you didn't notice it before, you're really going to notice it because you see that he's broke. And he's going to send all these into the grinder, which is going to give him a massive money boost. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything anywhere else. Alright, so make sure you're watching his money on the right over here as those go in. Boom! So that's exactly the reason why I said I think as the game goes on, the advantage is going to go to the Yuri player. So Zigzag's going to need to make something happen soon, so that's why I say, ooh, that was not a good Iron Curtain. But that's why I say, like, yeah, the Iron Curtain's great on the drones, but at some point you've got to move the game forward. And that's not good. Now those discs are almost, yeah, and he's got no money, so this is what I was talking about. That little play is a big difference maker because he can't afford to make too many flak tracks. So now I would expect to see a hard engage here from the red player. But again, there's the distraction. And did he already got another genetic mutator? Are you kidding me? He hasn't even run through the first batch of money that he got. So there's two things going on here. Here and here, and looks like he's not going to be, I mean, he can get the battle lab, I guess, but yeah. So I think that pretty much ends the game. Because he's got nothing. There's no more money. And did those brutes already go in? I guess they already went in. So we've got another nuke. What can we do with it though? Here maybe, but that's, I don't know. I mean, you gotta go here, I would think. Oh, I guess you could go here. Let's see. Oh shit, I'm not paying attention. Yeah, he's trying to end the game, which was kind of inevitable at this point. Like I said, the late game advantage is gonna go to Yuri. Let's see where he sends this. Nice there. Yeah, that was a good nuke. So GG. Let's see. Yeah, here's the hard press. Might as well just sell. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and enable notifications. We'll see you next time. Peace.